Hi friends, so glad you can join me. I'm sitting here in my house getting ready to make matzah, and you can make matzah from your house too. All you need are two simple ingredients: flour and water. You're all set. Now, making matzah reminds me of a very special holiday that's coming up. It reminds me of the holiday of Pesach. A long, long time ago, the Jewish people were in such a hurry to get out of Mitzrayim. A long, long time ago, the Jewish people wanted to be free. They didn't want to give King Paro a chance to change his mind. They didn't want to give King Paro the chance to say no. They didn't have time to wait for the dough to rise, like when we make challah on Shabbat. They needed to make it quickly, and so they made it flat and crunchy. And we're getting ready to make that very same recipe now. I'm getting ready to take out my mixing bowl. First, we're going to put a cup of flour in our bowl. I'm getting ready to pour the flour. Here it goes. My measuring cup is now empty, just about. Next comes the water. I'm going to pour the water in the measuring cup, just 1/3 cup. And I'm going to get ready to pour the water from the measuring cup into the bowl, just like that. Now for the next part, you need to remember to wash your hands with soap and water. We need to mix the dough. We need to mix the dough with our hands. Now, I've already done that, and so I'm going to move the bowl away, and here is the dough that I made, the dough for matzah. I'm getting ready to take this dough and cut it into 3 separate pieces. 1, 2, and 3. With this recipe, we can make 3 separate matzot. My dough is looking kind of, well, fluffy. I'm wondering what we can use to flatten our dough. I'm getting ready to take it out. Here it goes. To make our dough flat, we need a rolling pin. We can roll our dough flat on the table. First, I add a little bit of flour and I place it on the table. That stops the dough from getting sticky. Then, I choose my first piece of dough and put it on the flour. Take my rolling pin and start rolling it nice and flat. While I roll it, I just wanted to mention that even though we're making matzah together, the matzah that we're making is not kosher for Passover. We can eat it as a snack, but we definitely can't bring it to the seder. For matzah to be kosher, we need to make it very quickly. In fact, from the time that you mix the flour with water, you only have 18 minutes to finish baking it. Otherwise, it becomes tameh. Otherwise, it becomes chametz. Here we go. My first piece is ready. I'm putting it on the tray and getting ready to roll my second piece of dough. I'm using my rolling pin to make it really flat, and the flour on the table stops it from sticking. see, there it goes. My second matzah is ready to go on the baking tray too. I'm up to my last piece, my third matzah, and I'm rolling it. I'm rolling it really flat. So if you look really, really closely, you'll notice that my matzah is taking on a shape. It's not the shape of a square, and it's not the shape of a circle either. Let me lift it so you can see it more closely. There it is. My matzah is the shape of an oval. My third matzah is going on the tray. Let me bring the tray just a little bit closer, because now we're up to the very last part of challah making. Before we can bake it in the oven, we need a fork. We need a fork so we can poke holes in it. And we need to poke holes in our dough so that it doesn't rise. Here I go. I'm poking holes. I'm poking holes with my fork. I'm poking it on the dough so that the dough can stay nice and flat, so that the dough does not rise. My first matzah is ready. I'm getting ready to poke holes in my second one now. Here I go. I need to make sure that my matzah doesn't rise, because then it becomes tameh, because then it is not kosher. It is not kosher, and we cannot eat it during Passover. It is not kosher for Passover. Here I go, poking holes. Almost done with the second one. If I poked holes in 2 matzot, how many more matzot do I need to poke holes in? That's right, my friends. One last matzah. Here I go. I'm getting ready to poke holes in my last matzah. You know, my matzot are almost ready to go in the oven, but matzah needs to cook really very quickly. So the temperature in the oven needs to be very high. More than 500 degrees. 2 minutes on each side. And they're ready to go. I'm going to show you what my tray looks like when it's all done. I'm getting ready to put my matzot in the oven. And you can do the same with yours. But remember, our matzot are not kosher for Passover, which means we can't save them for the Seder. So taste them and enjoy them as a snack. Chag Sameach.